Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Tap Mom and the Baby Brigade. Hope everybody's having a good morning. It's after 1 a.m. here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Well, it's been a good night, mostly, anyway. I got to go babysit 3 little boys. This is my oldest son's friends' children. Their ages are 11 and twin 6-year-old boys, and I had a good time with them. At one point, there was a stuffed animal fight. Yeah. I didn't need my inhaler afterwards because, you know, I got out of breath. First it was, let's show, we want to show you our room. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm in the room, and then they're showing me this big mound of stuffed animals. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuffed animals. 2 big, huge Pikachus, and Pikachu from Pokemon, in case you don't know. And a whole bunch of other stuffed animals. And next thing I know, they're launching them at me. In good-natured fun, of course, not maliciously, just launching them at me to play with me. And so I started I retreated to the living room, and they followed me and just kept throwing them at me, and I kept throwing them back at them, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And I got to meet the chameleon, the oldest son. Excuse me. People are burning things, and the smoke is kind of just aggravated my breathing. But the oldest one has a chameleon lizard named Alex. So I got to meet the chameleon, and that was pretty cool. But the oldest one was having a little bit of stomach issues, so I just went in there, and he showed me the chameleon, and asked, I petted it. He asked me, did I want to hold it? And I said, no, that's okay. I'll just pet it. And so I did, like, you know, I touched it and petted it. And then he put him back in his enclosure. And that was that. But he's beautiful colors of the chameleon. He just has some beautiful colors. Just a very interesting. I like that little telescopic eye that he had. Just it was pretty neat. And now rewatched a couple of, it played on the TV. I didn't actually get to watch it. The second Meg movie, the Megalodon movie, shark movie, they didn't actually let me watch it. It was playing on the TV, and that's all I could say about that. And then they decided to bring the dog in from the other room, and the dog is a Weimaraner dog, so she's kind of a slender. She favors like a lab, but she's a slender dog, Lucy. And she was all over me and wanted lovin's. And then she discovered some leftover pizza on the table and decided to jump on the table and eat the leftover pizza. It was fair game. She got to it and did that. And then we put her back up. And then next thing I know, they brought out the cat. This big fluffy, orange and white cat, beautiful blue-eyed cat, and named Tig. So Tig was very sweet, and so we just they played with the cat. They really didn't let me pet on the cat too much while they were awake, and then I was kind of like. I was like, it's time everybody to kind of chill out. And so we they was like, let's watch a movie. And I'm like, okay. So we were looking on there, and they said, oh, Mortal Kombat. Let's watch Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, okay. And then I said, I've seen that one. And they were like, oh, okay. So, and they kept asking me questions, like spoiler alert questions. And they were like, because in part of the beginning of the movie, what appears to be the main character, he appears to get killed. And so they're like, is he dead? Is he going to come back? And I'm thinking about it. I told him, I said, he shows up when he's needed. And they were like, okay. I said, but you had to stay for the movie. You had to pay attention and you have to watch. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they proceeded to get busy and do something else. And then one of them fell asleep in the recliner. And then one of them fell asleep next to me. And so the oldest one, the 11-year-old, he helped one of them in the recliner go to bed. And then he left me with the other one. And then eventually I picked him up and took him to bed. And I got as far as his room. And I was about to put him in his bed, but then I couldn't. It was really dark in the room. And the way I have mobility issues. And I was strong enough to pick him up because he couldn't weigh more than 40 pounds. So he wasn't that heavy. My dogs weigh more than he does. And so I'm holding him. And then I see all this stuff on the floor that I couldn't really tell exactly what all was on the floor. And I fall easy sometimes and I trip easy. So I was like, so I'm standing there and the older boy comes in and he said, just roll him to me and I'll get him the rest of the way. And so I let him get him the rest of the way. And he finished putting him to bed. And I went back to the living room. And then he eventually went to his room to watch TV or whatever. Because he's the oldest child, he could stay up later. But they had already been, before I went over there, they had already been to the Red River Revel that is apparently going on this weekend. And the mama walked them to death. I think she hoped that she was wearing them out for me. I don't think she realized that they would get a second wind and be really energetic this evening. But they were very energetic and they were very animated. But I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Some children get on my nerves when they're energetic and bouncy. But these guys didn't get on my nerves at all. I don't know because they're my son's friend's children or what. But for some reason, they were just really special to me, and they didn't get on my nerves. One of them wears glasses, and I said, "Oh, I bet you're the smart one, huh?" and he said, "Yes, I'm the smart one." One of the twins wears glasses, and then the other one, and I looked at him and I said, "Oh," I said, "and you're the cutest one." And I said, "I bet you're a flirt." And he just grinned. He said, "Yeah, I'm the best looking one." And he has a little bit of a speech impediment, so you really have to pay attention to what he's saying to understand what he's saying. Because he has a very similar speech impediment to what Johnny used to have. Johnny, my son, my 24-year-old autistic boy used to have a speech impediment, very similar to what Kason has. And he would leave like the beginning and the ending of the word off. And so you just really have to pay attention to what he's saying. But he gets the middle of the word, but the beginning and the end is left off somehow. So, but he gets the middle of the word, but the beginning and the end is kind of missing. So you have to have been talking to him for a while to really catch, what he's trying to say. And then if he's really tired, you don't understand him at all. So I'm pretty sure that with time and spending time over there with them, I would probably understand him after, even when he's tired. But when he got tired, I had trouble understanding him because he would get to where he talked real fast and it was trying to be understood, and I was just kind of looking at him like, what is he saying? But it was precious. They were absolutely precious, and I enjoyed them. They were very sweet, and they wanted to just share everything with me, show me everything about themselves. And the oldest one decided he wanted to, and I did take crochet with me. I took, because I'm making some tiny granny squares to go with my sweater, my cardigan. I'm going to show that to y'all in a minute. But I took the stuff to make the little granny squares, and I took some extra hooks and extra little balls of yarn, just in case they showed an interest, because, you never know. And the oldest one said, "Oh, crochet." And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Do you have extra stuff you could show me how to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I pulled a hook out and I tried to show him, but the boys kept, you know, the little boys kept making so much noise that I couldn't really just keep his focus enough to show him, you know, what I was trying to show him. And then once he lost interest in learning with me, I did leave him with a hook and a ball of yarn. And then one of the twins came over, and I told him, I said, put your glasses back on so you can see. And so he sat down and he tried for a few minutes, and then he quickly lost interest. But I think he only wanted to learn because Bubba was trying to learn. But I think the oldest one, I think he'll probably look some stuff up on YouTube or something and probably learn how to crochet. I think he probably will. And boy, did that oldest one's eyes pop out when I told him I was a YouTuber and I had, you know, 2,250 subscribers. He said, "What?" He said, "What?" He said, "I watch YouTube." I said, "Yeah." And he said, "What's your channel about?" And I told him about it, and he's like, "That is so cool." And I had to pull my channel up on my phone because they got his parental controls on his phone so strict that he can't pull up my channel. And so I pulled it up and showed it to him, and he said, "That's cool, that's cool." And I said, you know, when you get a chance, pull up some crochet tutorials and, you know, see what you can do when you have a quiet moment, you know, to concentrate. And he said, I will. And I said, okay. So who knows, maybe next time he'll be showing me what he learned when he had a quiet moment without the little ones. But I almost felt like a real grandma for a minute. But I told him they could call me Auntie. I'll settle for that. But if that's what it's like to be a grandma, then I would really enjoy that very much. They were really good kids. Because when I told them to pick all the stuffed animals up, they picked them all up and took them back to their room. Didn't give me any lip or anything. So I thought that was pretty good of them. And I told them, you know, they had asked me, they wanted to feed me, you know, for coming over because I didn't charge them to come watch the babies. And so they wanted to feed me, and I hadn't had a pizza in 3 months. So I said, well, make it easy on yourself. Just feed the boys pizza and I'll have pizza. And so they had a pizza there for me when I got there. And so I had a few pieces of pizza, and I brought my own drink with me. And that was about it. But that was my night over watching the boys, Kason and Mason and Taylor. So it was fun. I hope to get to go do that again soon because I enjoyed it a lot, and I think they did too. They didn't give me any problems at all as far as behavior wise. They didn't disrespect me. They didn't backtalk me, or they weren't mean or nothing like that. I was a little concerned because here I am, a stranger, but they know Will real well. Will's over there all the time, and they love Will to pieces. So I guess, you know, as far as they were concerned, any friend of Will's is a friend of theirs, and I'm his mom, so, you know, that was good with them. So that's why they didn't you know, have any problems with me. But I had made progress with my cardigan before I went. I had, you know, the idea I told you about the little granny squares going down the back. And so I wanted to show you that. And I did take the little balls I had left over after I went to 19 rounds on both hexagons. And I took the scrap balls, and it let me go four rows on each side to add width to the cardigan, because when I connected it with stitch markers, it needed width. I could get it on, but I couldn't really move in it. It was not wide enough for me. So I went ahead and added those rows, and it give it some width, but it only comes to like right here when I put it on. So I have to add some, I think I'm going to have to add some rows to the lapel, to the sides here. and bring it up. You know, I'm not trying to make it like completely close in the middle here. I just want it to come a little further, you know, around me a little bit better. But as far as length goes, I'm good with how long it is. I'm good with how long the sleeves are. I'm good with that. Now, yeah, I'm pretty good with that. But I am gonna, I think I'm gonna go back and put, because I have some scrap yarn in there from the OGO projects that I worked, and I am gonna go and put some more rounds on the lapel, you know, the sides here, and widen this area here on both sides. And then I'm thinking about putting the granny squares on the lapels. So let me show you what it looks like with the little granny squares on the back, because I really like how that's worked out. And what I did was, I sat there today earlier, and I made two round, you know, just these little bitty ones, just little bitty ones with 2 rounds on them, in the turquoise of the basic Premier Basic Stitch, Premier Basics in turquoise color. So I did use the same size hook. I'm pretty sure I did. Well, anyway. Or did I? I didn't. Maybe that's what the deal is. Oh dear. Okay. Well, the hook is in my it's in my purse in there. I did use my new bag when I went over there. But anyway, I did I think I used a 6mm. Maybe I used a 6.5. I used the same hook that I had been using with this. So it's got to be 6.5. I'm pretty sure it's 6.5. Anyway, so I'm sure this is a 6.5 hook that I was using. So I did, it took 10 of these to go down the back. So since it took 10 of these to go down the back, and it's the same amount of rows, you know, for each side, I figured it would take 10 on each side too. So that means I have to make 20 more for each side. Strawberry water. I just had Johnny fix that for me right before I hit record. But let me see. And this is a hot mess with a bunch of ends that I didn't sew in yet. So, because I was experimenting and I wasn't sure I was going to leave it like this. Let's see here. And I'm still struggling with this. Yeah. Because some of this was, when I was struggling with it, it was wee hours of the morning last night. But this is, and I have to go back and check the size of that hook. That might explain why these are kind of puckered. But I don't know. They look a little weird right now because they're just put in there with stitch markers. But I like how it looks so far. I got to go tuck my ends in and snip off all these extra. I used way too much yarn. Left too long of tails because I didn't know if I was going to undo the squares and ball it back up, and I didn't, because sometimes your tension is different, and I didn't know if I was going to have to undo the squares and then ball it back up and then redo the squares. So I left a lot of extra yarn in case, you know, because I didn't know what I was, you know, what I was going to end up doing. So that's why none of the ends are tucked in, and that's why so much excess yarn has been used. But this is the back area here. So I'm still thinking this might be the way I'm going. But I know it looks a little odd right now. But I did very carefully and very, you know, with a lot of thought, and took my time today after I'd had a good rest and went through and stitch by stitch and put each little square in and made sure that they were perfectly lined up with each stitch. So I know how many, you know, that they're all lined up, that when I sew all this in together, that it will line up. Because it's a garment, it's not a blanket. So it needs to be a little more accurate than if it was a blanket. So, because I don't want to go out in public looking like a crooked sister. You know what I mean? I don't want it to look really weird. But it should look okay. And it's to my liking. It's not going to be to everybody's liking. And so I really don't care what anyone thinks. Honestly, I don't. It's for me. It's not for anyone else. It's for me to like, not for anyone else to like. And I think it's awesome. So it's very unique. And I'll just have to play it by ear and see if this is the way I want to go with it. Or if I leave, decide to go another direction after I make all these little squares. I might end up making all these little squares and putting them on a different cardigan. I don't know yet. I'll just stare at it a while and make my mind up later. But I'll make up all these little squares, and I'll put the extra rows on the fronts, on the front sides, and by the time I put the extra rows on each side, I'll know if I want to add all these extra little granny squares to the back and to the front lapels, or if I just want to do that on a different one with a different texture, or do this with a different color. I don't know. But and as far as using this yarn, I think I probably will go back and the other. I have two of these. This one the other one I took the sticker off, and the thread is already loose. But I think what I'm going to do, instead of holding it together with the squares, I'm making the squares, be shiny. I'm going to hold it together and do the trim around the sweater with it, and make that, the extra sparkly touch, because I don't have a lot of yardage in these. So it would just be, I'd just end up running out, and then I'd have to go get more and all that business, and I don't want to do that. So I'll just use it when I do like a half double around the edges or whatever I'm going to do to trim it out to finish it up. And I'll hold that thread together with whatever yarn I do to do that. So that's where I'm going with this. But I'll figure it out as I go, as I always do. And hopefully it'll come out like I want it to. And I'll have something interesting and one of a kind, as always. So that's what I like to have, is something that no one else has. And no one else will have what I have when I go to that concert, as far as my sweater goes. And I'm looking forward to it. And we've got a really cool night here tonight. So all the air conditioners in the house are off, even the fan. Of course, I turned the fan off so that it didn't reflect in the window and bother anybody. But I'll probably turn it back on when I go to sleep. But the air conditioner's off, and so I shouldn't have the sinus problem that I've been having. I had the sinus problem again when I got up today, so that's because I slept under the air conditioner. I had slept with the air conditioner on again. Oh gosh, and I just remembered something I needed to do tonight. Whew. I guess I'll do it right after I finish this video. Anyway, those of you that watch know that I did a secret giveaway on the 23rd of last month. And today was the day that I was supposed to draw for the winner, or Saturday. Saturday was the day, and I completely forgot. So I got to go do that after I finish with this video. So, my bad. It's not every day you get asked to go be babysitter to boys that you've, wish to meet, little boys you wish to go meet. And so I wasn't going to say no to that opportunity. So anyway, I'm human. I do forget things. So anyway, with that, I'm going to wrap up here. And I love y'all, and so does Jesus. And please remember to adopt, don't shop. Your best friend's waiting for you at the shelter or the rescue. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Bye.